What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Tragically Hip. And we're returning to the Yer Favourites compilation, and we're down to one final track from one of their albums, and then I believe there is one bonus tune, which I suppose was recorded for the compilation, and then we'll be done with it. But yes, we're going to listen to Vaccination Scar, which I think comes from In Between Evolution 2004. And yeah, it's an interesting phrase. I feel like in modern times, it's, something that people will have different attitudes about, but in a context, let's say, more historical, I would expect it to relate to the inoculation of someone against some disease or problem, whether that is figurative or more literal, and thus there could be a scar left behind from something that was meant to be preventative towards something later or something potential. And in that regard, I do wonder whether there will be some specific meaning beyond what the title might suggest itself in relation to a particular event or personal narrative. But yeah, the idea of a vaccination is a reduced and essentially neutered version of some disease or malady that allows your body to create protective antibodies and thus to be prepared and better suited for you to survive should you encounter the actual phenomenon in your environment. So I feel like all of that could be very figuratively and metaphorically significant. I'll see what I can catch on a first listen. This is Vaccination Scar by Tragically Hip, or The Tragically Hip, originally from the album In Between Evolution 2004.
I'm not the saddest cheerleader to forget the American word for the gang in the head that dwindles to no members when the mystery's met. The sky looks threatened, heading home in the dust, singing life is forgetting, good enough for the villains. One thing I remember is this tear on your bare shoulder, this little silver boulder, this slowly falling star. We're rolling, so what? Never getting older, where the moonshot curtains part. The start of enough, a teardrop in a vaccination scar. I'll tell you if I'm able, that is. I'll tell you like it is. Down like a bad card to the light. Tacoma Meadows Bridge. Like the Tacoma Meadows Bridge. Swimming on a bit. Stop and treading water as the sun assimilated the words for lighthouse fire, burning down to embers and the mystery met. The sky just reddened, heading home under dusk. Is life just forgetting? Another word for frivolous. Little silver boner, silence from Mars, for the heart of enough, or a teardrop in a vaccination scar.
Whew. I love the feedback. So a rocking tune sonically, the guitar in particular standing out, and not just at the end with that solo, but throughout, a very deep and, what's the right word? rolling groove. I'm not quite sure if that's the word I'm looking for, but yes, a very like foot tapping, sort of fist rocking type of track. Ultimately, I didn't catch everything from the lyrics, but what I did catch, it makes me wonder. It feels like a lot of this is poetic and figurative, but maybe not in the sense that I thought. I hear a reference, at first it was something about like the American words, so I wondered if again we're sort of making regional or national comparisons, and even particularly about the way people talk about things. But then, what was it? It was like the lighthouse is on fire and the sky is turning red. I think it was around dusk. So it feels like there's reference to external matters, and those that on the surface I don't quite know how to connect to the title phrase, which we definitely heard as part of the chorus. So yeah, I feel like there is maybe some specific meaning here, but it seems to be cast in poetic type phrases and visual imagery that exceeds anything or my ability on a first listen to pin it down and to sort of piece together a narrative or an explanation for the title phrase. So yeah, again, building off of what the title sounds like to me, I wonder if this is something where the experience that was perhaps seen as preceding some future event actually turned out to be very destructive, or something that left an indelible mark in perhaps a painful way. So yeah, not sure again if we're talking about a real lighthouse or the sky, rather than someone's emotional state or the condition of their life, and dusk, of course, relating to the passage of time as it relates to the environment. So all sorts of phrases here just in the tidbits that I caught that I'm not quite sure what to do with. But again, really jamming guitar. I enjoyed the percussion scheme. It had a lot of energy. It was a faster tune, though still, again, with a bit of that like folk rock vibe at the same time. So very cool. I think the final tune, do I have this right? Okay, so the final tune is The New Maybe, and it's listed as a bonus track, so I'll look forward to that. And I like that phrase just in general. I'm like keen to think what that could be. So again, once more, shout out to Yvonne for sharing the Tragically Hip material, and in the moment, I don't know what I may be able to do after this. If there's folks, I know Todd has been following this deep dive for a while, if there's any other folks who have material that they can help us prolong the Tragically Hip journey, that would be greatly appreciated. But no pressure, no rush. Obviously I've got a lot going on the channel, but I have very much enjoyed becoming familiar with this band, which, unlike some other deep dives where I'm hearing most of their music for the first time, this was never a group I knew about. It was always the case that there's certain bands that I do on this channel that go back to my youth, or at least my teens. There's other bands that I was familiar with by name, maybe by reputation of one or two songs, but this was a group that was entirely unknown to me until this deep dive. So it's been very enjoyable, and I'm aware, certainly on multiple levels, having heard different people from Canada talk about them, that they're a group that is held with much national sentiment, and it was a great tragedy when Gord died. So again, big shout out to all the folks who've been following this. One more to go on the Yer Favourites compilation, and Luca and I will see you next time. Peace.